I wasn't that practicing growing up. I would go to Mass occasionally. When I was in high school, I had a great chaplain that used to take us down to a place in the Andes Mountains called Bariloche, and he would take a group of like 20 of us. I met there a friend who actually invited me then to go on a mission with Miles Christi. So it was a great event for me, a great opportunity to really see how God's grace was working in the souls of these people. And so that somehow impacted even my heart as well. I could become an instrument, like a missionary, to help others do the same. The year after, when I was a senior, I was invited to go into a Miles Christi retreat. It was my first retreat in my life. And I remember that it impacted me tremendously. It was the very first time I ever heard or understood that the purpose in my life was to be a saint, was to be a holy man. I understood that that was the greatest calling that I could ever have in my life. After that retreat, I started thinking about the possibility of giving my life to the Lord in the priesthood. It was not easy for me to somehow give up the possibility of having a family, of getting married and having children and so forth. But at the same time, I knew God was somehow drawing my heart to, we can say, marry the church and be a father to many spiritual children. So as I moved into further into my senior year, somehow it became more clear to me that God was drawing me to this call. But of course, it had to be an act of love, an act of generosity. I still had to say yes to that calling. My family didn't quite think that I would become a priest, really. When I told my parents and my family members about my decision and my desire to pursue the priesthood, they were somehow surprised because they weren't expecting that, but they never opposed my vocation. I entered Miles Christi right after high school. It took me about 10 years to get ready for the priesthood, for the ordinations. I was asked by my superiors if I would be willing to come to study theology in the U.S. Something that I really enjoy at Miles Christi, or like at Miles Christi, is the purpose that we have as an order. Because certainly we work with all lay faithful, but we work especially with the young people and with college students. It is something that I was very naturally drawn to because I was also blessed by coming to Christ around that age. So I wanted to somehow do for others what Christ and my friends at Miles Christi did for me. And my dream is that many other people may be able to come to know Christ and go to heaven and be saints through this ministry that God has blessed me to be called into.